Hello, everyone, and welcome to Forge the Narrative. My name is Paul Murphy. I'm your host of the LSO's podcast. I'm joined by Red Powell.
What up?
How are you doing, Red?
I'm doing great. How are you, Paul?
Doing all right. So, as mentioned, Tanya is off at Mini Wargaming. You're going to see the efforts that she is doing coming out very soon on that channel. Check them out if you haven't already. We've seen. Can we say we've seen some behind the scenes pictures?
It's pretty epic, and
Yeah,
that's a pun intended.
yeah. Absolutely phenomenal. Cannot wait to see that in all everything that they do. You know, they always do a great job on there. And Adam Camilleri is traveling and should hopefully be back in in his own neck of the woods on the other side of the planet soon if he isn't already. And then we'll be joining us. We'll be back to normal. Should be next week. But Red, how are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. I just had an awesome weekend. I took my son, Michael. We went to the Lone Star Open, which was a nice little trip. I mean, it was his birthday weekend. We traveled from where I'm currently out at Georgia, and so went to Dallas for that. So it was kind of a special thing, you know. I mean, it's taken it to the next level. And I know, like you've talked about, like you've got your son into he's playing neck runs, right?
I want to, and I'm going to show something off here in a second.
Yeah. And so the opportunity to be able to go on this trip with Michael and you know, it's always funny with my kids. My three, I've got four boys, and the three older ones, because the youngest is six. So he's very my 6-year-old's very interested in painting, which is always fun because I give him something and let him experiment and get into it. He loves to do it, and it's a group event for us. But my oldest likes to build and can very much get into building. My Michael, who went with me, the second, who turned 11 this weekend, he likes to play. I mean, he just can get into, and he's glad to put models down on the table and just roll with it. And then Aiden, my 8-year-old, he has some really good patience when it comes to painting. Like, I've watched him help his brothers with paint some of their
Such a
models, and
benefit.
right. And so it's really awesome to have this little team of kids that are really as engaged as I could ask for. And so, but anyways, being able to take Michael to the Lone Star Open this weekend, we played Kill Team, and it was a blast. There was an awesome team, Chase and the Engage, Play, Repeat team. They hosted the Kill Team specific event, and I think there were about 17, 18, 20 people or so, like at the very most. I mean, it was an awesome event. We played 5 rounds. We had a great time, and
And that was
learned,
just one event at the place you were winning. Like there was a bunch of other events, but this
that's
is
right.
one event
That's right.
within the overall event.
Yes. So I mean, there was 40k. There was Marvel Crisis Protocol, Armada, Star Wars Armada, Legion, Shatterpoint, X-Wing, and a couple others. And so it was really, I mean, Blood Bowl, Age of Sigmar. You saw some really great, you know, from the Dallas Open. I saw some repeat players that were there at the Lone Star Open, and some of their amazing paint jobs. Right? I mean, like Age of Sigmar is just such a beautiful game, and some of the paint jobs that were on display at Dallas were back at the Lone Star Open, and they're just really good looking stuff. And also, you know, from my time as one of the team managers for the U.S. Army esports team, it's a military appreciation event. And so we had a really great time with the team at large. We had about 12 people there in jerseys for the military, for the Army team. Um, and it was, I mean, again, just really awesome time spent with friends, and Michael had a blast with his birthday, and we were playing Raveners. And so for a 5 model team, it was very interesting kind of going through it. And even, you know, as war games go, Michael with his 5 model team, I mean, they got 20 wounds, right? And so, like, for reference, a 10 model team typically has anywhere from 7 to 9 wounds. Maybe you have one model who spikes
That's
high, like,
yeah.
yeah, but 20 wounds is massive. Like a Space Marine is 14. So, like, Michael got a little overconfident at one point. We're playing against goremongers, right? The corn goremongers, and he's just like, "Oh yeah, I can handle this. We'll just charge right in there." Threw a Ravener into 2 goremongers, and I mean, dice were definitely a thing, but I don't think that even if he had good rolls, he'd stood much of a chance, as the goremongers just carved him up. But that was a lesson learned. I mean, that was a good lesson, especially for him to learn in the second game. And
Well, I mean
he
that
just,
when you adage of when you have a hammer, everything looks like a nail or whatever. So
that's
you
right.
got to think creatively when you come up to that type of resistance. It's a good lesson. Exactly right.
Yeah, and it was good. I mean, by the time we got to the fifth game, he was kind of on board with the Ravener mechanics because they have this tunnel building mechanic. It's very cool. I really, I appreciate the different flavor that all the different teams have in Kill Team, and the Raveners have this cool tunnel building thing where each turn they build like a 5-inch tunnel segment, and so by the end of there's only 4 turns. By the third turn, you're 15, 20 inches into the board, kind of twisting between objectives and stuff. And the Raveners can pop up on this tunnel. And it's just a really cool mechanic and kind of how, I mean, the second turn, for example, that rightfully so, Michael made the decision that he wasn't going to pop out of the tunnel really to do anything. It kind of gave the other player an advantage in the second turn. But then after that, come the third turn, all the Raveners pretty much came out of the ground, and it was go time from there. And so it was a lot of fun and a lot of enjoyable time with the game and meeting all the people and just a great community. So we had an awesome time, and we're really glad to spend that time together.
And that's wonderful to hear. And I know we talked a little bit about Kill Team last episode also, but it really is kind of like a cinematic movie. You're taking, part in these four turning points, which is basically like the climactic or action sequence of a movie there at the
Right.
very end. It's really neat how it all comes together, and it's cool that he's kind of embraced it and playing it. I mean, that's really good to hear. And you need a small collection of models. That's all
That's
you
right.
only have to manage those those small collection of models, and then you get to play a game that lasts. What? How long were your games lasting each?
So, I mean, the total time available that was given was 2 hours. But I mean, honestly, especially with 5 models, and a lot of it is I'm underground, so I activate underground and I pass.
Hmm.
And it's alternating activation for Kill Team, right? Of course, for people listening out there that may not be familiar with the system. And so I have one of my 5 Raveners is underground, I pass, and so it's back to the other person, and they get to activate, they go, and so some of those first turns go pretty quick. I can't say that I had a game that really came super close to time,
Hmm.
but one of the things that I've appreciated about Kill Team, and we've talked about it some before, is that a Kill Team game is going right by the time you get into the third turn, and typically half of each player's team is dead at this point, right? Like, I mean, it is a killy game. I mean, you've done demos, you've taught people, like, things just die, and that's just how it goes. I mean, it's in the name, Kill Team, and people die. And so, like, it's
Your operatives, while they're all very heroic, and like you mentioned, 20 wounds on the Ravener, and have special abilities, and then the kind of the way the interaction works a little bit differently than it does, and you might be used to in 40k. But it's so fast paced, and so can be deadly.
It is, and it's I would say on average our games were 45 minutes to an hour. I think some of there's some really great competitive folks that were there for the Kill Team community, and I think some of their games, like, there's such a way, and it is just a smaller board, right? It's on a um what a
It's like an
20
18 by 24 or something like that. I mean,
yeah, 20, it's a little quarter part, right, of a board typically. So it's like maybe 20 by 30, something like that. And
that probably
the
sounds more accurate. Yeah.
and why they're all set up, like, I mean, whether it's Into the Dark, and the team that was running the event had some awesome kind of custom terrain. Like, when I say custom, they brought uh Octarius terrain, like the old orc terrain, and they'd kind of added third edition rules to it. Like, they changed it up a little bit, and it was very clear walking in. It was actually really great player packet. Like, you could go in and you could see they'd taken a lesson out of the third edition book for Volcus, which is the current
Hmm.
competitive open terrain, and they'd taken Octarius and kind of upgraded it to that description. And so you could say, like, the terrain was heavy, and they had a diagram in the player packet and everything that had the pictures of the terrain.
Oh, that's nice.
So yeah, the walls were heavy. The top part, just like some of the Volcus terrain, the top part of the Vantage terrain on the second floor was light, and so, like, you could see all that. It was all very available, and it was really good breakdown. Michael and I had no problem transitioning into the differences that they had introduced, so that was really cool. Very cool too.
No, it is nice. Oh, I'm glad you all had a great time, and we'll be talking a little bit more about Kill Team as the stuff progresses. We saw some stuff today.
We
Um,
did.
and one of them being, you know, definitely not Kill Team. Or I don't know what kind of mission, it would be if it was, but um, the shard of the Satan, the Nightbringer, previewed up on the
Right.
Warhammer community site.
Well, and so
First
I'd
time
throw it
you're
out
hearing
there.
this for sure.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, for everyone that's seen it, it's a beautiful model, amazing. Like, what an update! Like the old one was classic. Don't get me wrong, but they even had a size comparison, and you can see it on Warhammer Community where they show a picture of the old one next to the new one, and that is a glow up. That's like he's he's gone
Twice as
massive.
tall,
Yeah,
twice,
it's crazy.
3 times as wide. Um, like, of course, look, I look at the comments and stuff, and it's like some of the comments of like, I really like the old one, but this is tempting me. Like, if you have the old one, you're playing the old one. How are you not just diving in on this? Like, this is like it's
Great to have both.
amazing. Talking about a model that is getting what is it? How old is the Nightmare? 25, 30 years?
Oh, I mean, I have one of the classic metal ones, right?
Yeah,
Before they went to Finecast. And my Deceiver is metal as well. And so that means it's got to be in the 90s, late
yeah,
90s, maybe early 2000s.
yeah. Maybe so, but still, this is just what a spectacular sculpt. Very dynamic, much more dynamic. Got
It's
all
massive.
the
I mean, the
yeah,
scale of it. It
yeah,
does have some of the throwback. I mean, there are still scarabs around his feet, like it's like coming off of it kind of deal, and so it looks pretty cool.
yeah.
The detailing, I mean, just 3D, the the plastic inject mold and the sculpting and everything that they've done, they've taken it to such another level that it's really awesome. And I tell you, when it comes into so yeah, we talked about Kill Team and Gen Con and
Hmm.
the dungeon crawl. So in the rule book, it has these rules for joint ops, which is essentially two players playing cooperatively against non-player operatives. And then in Typhon, it actually introduced more, almost kind of like an adversary mode, which
Hmm.
has like these bigger monsters. And then there's also in the app, it has ways that you could play Space Marine 2 with like Titus versus all these different Tyranid models. And so it's really cool in thinking that they've like taken the Nightbringer and could use him like a boss, like a major adversary for a joint op kind of NPO kill team thing where he's a boss kind of deal. And that's where I mean, I could see this going. I could see that it playing into that, and I think that's super exciting.
I saw some other comments too. It's like, well, time for Uriel to get busy. I think that's from the novels, right? Uriel of Interest and the
Yeah, that's right.
yeah.
Yeah,
But speaking of Necrons, and also speaking of Suns playing, mini war games, is that um, and my son wanted to play with a buddy his some 40k stuff over the past weekend, and we put together this monolith. I say we put it. I did most of the building on the monolith, and
sure.
this uh, it's less complex and then more complex than you might suspect. For those listening on the audio, I am showing the picture. I'm showing a lead belcher primed, fully built monolith. I did go without there's two different gates you can build. One of them is being with the Necron floating through it, and then the other is just the plain gate. I went with the plain gate for this one, and the guns move, so that's kind of neat. Going with that, but this is so much different than the original model.
Oh
Like
yeah.
way more
Oh,
dynamic, way cool. Has a scarab coming up or sorry, tomb spider or whatever it is coming up the back, and then just lots of opportunity. Let's just say opportunity for customization and painting. That is what scares me with this model, though.
we know I'm bad with you know speaking correctly, but I think canoptic construct is probably the right term for that wraith-looking thing over there
Oh,
in
this
regards
thing.
of
Oh, this
Necron
guy.
Germany.
This
Yeah, yeah. Well, and they did a
creepy
great job
crawly.
with it. Yeah, because they took the canoptic thing, creature, whatever, and
Yeah,
so those things they use them to like maintain different things, and so you can see they did really well with pulling. If you've seen
it's I
the
mean it's built into like to thing. Like this is the tail
Yeah.
that it
Right,
goes up
right,
to it.
exactly. And it's awesome detail, but it's
Creepy.
very similar to the you've seen the obelisk,
Hmm.
right? Or there's a Satan version, right? That's opened up and it's got a
Yeah.
Satan in there. And there's a similar,
Something vault or something, and
yeah, that's right,
Tesseract vault.
the Tesseract Vault. And so there's so the Tesseract Vault's open, there's a Satan in the middle, and then there's a canoptic construct, but it's got kind of like it's like it's managing the energy, whereas that thing looks like it's kind of holding the ball in place to a certain degree, on the monolith. I think it's awesome. I think it's great. I'm with you on the door. I like that as much as I like the action picture of the Necron coming out. I kind of prefer the cleanness of the door as well.
Well, looking back though, this is in painting this to me, and also with my youngest. I mean, granted, he's 13, so I
Sure.
mean, and actually does decently well also with a paintbrush. I mean, Necrons I think are a very forgiving army.
Mm.
Of course there are some amazing elements on here that you can go nuts with, like like the energy ball you were talking about,
Yeah,
or
sure.
the gate itself, or the whatever's inside, or maybe you could put some glow stuff on this thing or whatever. Um, and that right now may elude him just a little bit, but he's real great with the brush. But I think that if I were building this with the hindsight of not playing with it on the weekend that we built it, would maybe leave this gate off,
Sure.
and that would have allowed a little bit more access
Hmm.
to
To
the
get in there.
inside. It's
Yeah.
still, I'll probably have to help him a little bit more with that inside to get what to match the rest of his army. But I think even with this hefty size of a model, with just that one little change, I think if we did, you probably would have been able to manage the painting by itself. And I said I know, and not besmirching Necrons at all. I think these can be a very forgiving army. They can look good with without a lot of complex techniques used on them.
Sure.
You can use some
Sure.
basic techniques, wash, a couple of base coat colors, or wash in a highlight, and they're going to look amazing. Nice base on them, they're going to look amazing. And within here there's lots of opportunity for the special effects on there,
Hmm.
and I could have made it a little bit easier on him. I think if I didn't. The only thing I had to change is not putting that gate on there until we were done.
No, that's good to know. I haven't built one of the new ones. I have one of the older ones myself, but I've always looked at those new ones, and I would love to have one. So that's good to know when I get around to it.
Slightly tricky with how you, so the instructions read wonderfully,
Sure.
like you just do what they say, and of course that's simple. Just do what the instructions say, and it works all right.
Yeah.
But if I had to say the tricky part, and especially I mean, I guess it might be a good tip for anybody, this gate, you could probably just slot it on into this with a little blue tack if you needed to emergency play with it, like we were going to,
Sure.
uh, and leave that off and put it on later, and you're set. Like the other tricky part is the way the sides go together.
Mm.
I don't want to put it
Yeah,
too
At
close
that
because
at
you'll
that
see that
edge
I
right there.
wasn't
Yeah.
perfect on some of
The,
them.
yeah. The
Um,
obelisk is the same kind of way. You got to really make sure that it fits, right? Because
and then you
otherwise
probably
you could
want to
have
hold it
gaps.
there. Yeah,
Sure.
hold it there. I mean, again, when this is painted and all done, you're going to notice none of the stuff that I'm talking about. But if you're going for perfection, or what have you, I enjoyed putting it together. I enjoyed hanging out with my youngest while we were doing it, and going to enjoy hanging out with him while he paints it. So,
That's
um,
awesome.
yeah, it's gonna be neat. You got a little budding Necron army. Red, I know you're a Necron player, as we talked about, but he's going rule of cool, like just whatever.
That's great. I think
What,
that's an awesome direction to go.
yeah. So that was a weekend. Played some. I did not have the tournament experience that you did, which is love to hear about it. Love to see all the people playing games
Yeah.
in different environments. There was a lot of talk, and we'll talk a little bit about this after the break. There was a lot of talk about the one of the topics of the previous episode about playing 40k at different scales than just 2,000 points.
Sure.
Um, which is nice. So maybe we talk a little bit about that after the break. Continue
Sounds
that
good.
discussion. See you in a minute.
FTN is brought to you by Discount Games Inc. Please visit them at www.discountgamesinc.com. And don't forget to ask Jay about ways to save even more on your hobby projects.
Everybody, we are back. Please, 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 please check out our sponsors, especially all this crazy stuff, like great stuff coming up for pre-order. And get with the retailers. Get your order in as soon as you even know about it, and they can put you, I think, on their list to get you in for the pre-orders to make sure that you get what you want. But talk to the retailer to make sure that they can do that for you. And I know Jay is really good about that. We appreciate him continuing to be a sponsor. Also, did you know there was another Horus Heresy map that was up for sale?
Yeah, I sure did. Which
Yeah.
are we talking? We're not talking about the leather bound ones. We're talking
Yeah, the
about
leather
like,
bound ones.
oh yeah, I know. We're talking about like the end.
Yeah,
Yep.
the end.
Got it. Yep.
Okay.
Got
I
it.
didn't know that was coming out.
Oh yeah. No, I watch those things like a hawk. I mean, I tell you, the only one I've missed was the very first one, which was
Yeah.
like the solar map, and that's the only one I'm missing. I have everything else up to this point, and after I missed that solar map, I was like, nope, I got to get it. I'm getting every single one after that, and
All right.
so
Well,
those are the things I've gone hunting for.
when that gets here, I will have them all. I did
Oh, snap.
discover it. Of course, I'm in there looking to see what comes up for the pre-orders as I am also salivating over a lot of the stuff that is coming out, and I just the map this one somehow got by me.
And this one's kind of exciting. It's like inside the vengeful spirit and everything, right? It's like
Well,
the
this
showdown.
is I think it's still up. I think it's still at the time of this recording. I think it's still available. So if it also got by you, know that it is there. If you're trying to complete the set, I have this dream of having them all framed
Me
on a
too.
wall.
That's right.
Um,
It'd be
you know,
beautiful.
yeah, they're great. They're absolutely spectacular. You can get a taste if you don't know what we're talking about. You can get a taste of what we're talking about. If you actually go to the Horse Heresy website, you'll see a bunch of them displayed under where the authors information is as well. Authors of the books, the information, the novels, but these maps are glorious. They really, really are glorious. But I'm really glad that I happened to be on the site and having to snap it up when I did.
And, so I've appreciated some of the user interface stuff. I mean, I've dealt, with work and whatnot, different like user face effort, user just how things are arranged, right? And when you go into the website and you go to the store, like again, for hunting this kind of stuff down, like there's an option in the drop down menu of like available while it lasts kind of deal.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where like this map definitely comes up in that list if it's still out there.
It is while stocks last, is what
Yeah,
it says, and the name of it is here is where it will end. The map.
man, I can't wait for that.
And it is currently available, even as we speak. If you want it, I suggest you get it. They're works of art. They really are, and they will look good, even if you just have one. You don't have to have what is it, all 8 or 9 or whatever they are.
Yeah, whatever it is.
Yeah, it's one of those where I like to display my stuff. Thankfully I've got a little spot where I could have some art or decoration that also themed to where the armies are.
Oh, cool. I've got a few, the store sells some of those different art pieces every once in a while, and I go by and pick those. I like to buy one or I think I have 4 or 5 at this point. I've got like a
Yeah,
Chaos Warrior, like the one on the throne. I've got the Iron Warriors one. There's one that was like a fleet battle from like it wasn't Battlefleet Gothic, but it looks like the 12th Crusade or something. It was really cool stuff. So
that's cool. I mean, look, there's so much good artwork out there, and if you can grab some and have a place to put it, that's cool. These maps, though, I felt like, you know, they are like, I don't think these are going to come around again.
sure, yeah.
There'll be something else that comes around, but I don't think these will come around. There's always something else. So if you do,
That's right.
I'm not trying to ignite the FOMO. There's always going to be something else.
True.
But with these, they just look so cool, and I really love the story so much. And I figured, why not grab them when they come through? And
Yeah.
that's what I did. So, but this one snuck up on me.
Sometimes it is kind of hard to see, where everything's coming out at, and there's just so much stuff going on. Sometimes it just, like the Black Library stuff, kind of sneaks in there every once in a while.
Yeah.
It can catch me off guard too.
What we were talking about a little bit before the break was that people are playing 40k and 40k like things, like, I mean, talking about with their 40k models all over the place in all different ways. And I'm really glad that people responded to playing at different point levels or different modes of play, because like it really is alive and well. And I'm not sure enough people know that that's the case. And so, we talk about like venturing out and playing and stuff. Like, even if you're not playing 2,000 point match play, you probably can still find someone that wants to play the way that you would like to play, even if it is just a once a week or one off type of thing, the way to do
Sure.
it. And I've enjoyed the discussion of that with folks after the last episode. And please keep it up. Let us know how you're doing it. Are you also, do you only play Apocalypse? If you're out there, let us know. Do you play with a certain theme? Like everybody's got to be on a bike or whatever. Like, no matter what. Like, that's the kind of stuff I want to know about. Let me know if you got some kind of way that you play that is either for a specific theme or a certain point level, or you only play narrative. Those are the types of things that I'd like to know about. Just how big it is out there. And I can tell you, being talking to a lot of people that are playing or been playing or whatever, they're like, tournaments. What's that? We have our 4-on-4 deathmatch twice a month, and that's that's where it is. We don't care that we didn't get the mission pack because we made up our own missions. Those are the types of things I want to know about for folks
Sure.
out there. This is still, as 40k is so big, there's still so much room for you to play and interpret it the way that you think is fun to do.
I agree.
Tell people that your models.
Every codex comes with combat patrol material, right? Like, I mean, you don't have to go into the full 2,000 point deal. Combat patrol is still an option, and those are easy enough to get the boxes. I mean, that's what I've appreciated so much about Kill Team is you get a box and you pretty much have everything in that one go. And so combat patrol too. And you could work off of not just combat patrol. I mean, there's other aspects to it as well. And so narrative play still remains a huge draw for me. And I love the different formats that you see that pop up and how people play through. I mean, it doesn't always have to be a 2,000 point game. 1,000 points is still, and you can play on half a board. You can play on a full board. There's different aspects to that, and kind of how it goes.
Playing a kitchen table at that point level.
That's right. I mean, and even the mission pack, if you're not going to play exactly, there's other aspects to it, right? There's the asymmetric missions that we don't see too much in the competitive scene really at all, but that's still an option for every player to play in your own games with your friends and everything. And I think
I'm talking about, like,
aspects.
You don't even have the mission deck. You just play whatever scenario that you have described for yourself, and like whatever you think, like, especially if you're playing against unmatched forces on both sides of the table, or you only have a small collection, and your buddy's going to play what they play with, and you play what you play with. Design something that makes it fulfilling and sustainable for you to enjoy. That's the whole point of missions at the core of it anyway, is to balance the playing field in some way between what people bring to the table. One way of looking at it anyway. Anyway, I've just enjoyed hearing about it, but keep it up. Keep letting us know about that kind of stuff. It's fun. Especially, again, these collections, they mean a lot to us. The more different ways we get to use them, I think the better. I'm petting the monolith over here off camera. It's because I tell you, it was when you get, 10, 11, 12-year-olds together playing, sometimes they're doing the same thing. They're coming up with their own scenarios the same way you and I used to play.
Sure.
When we were that age.
Yeah, well, I mean, again, like it's something to, because there's just so much, some of the bookkeeping aspects of it, right? I mean, like it's just getting them to roll dice and kind of go through it. Now, there's certain balance aspects that you might say, well, this thing isn't as good if it doesn't have like this, stratagem combination behind it to make it do this. But at the same time, like just getting to play. I think they appreciate that, being able to throw down. It's something like with my kids, whether it's a free for all or it's, honestly them just teaming up on me to whatever extent, and that's, I could bring 1,000, they could each bring 500 or something like that. Because as much as I enjoy 2,000 point games, sometimes I don't always have, the 3 hours, 2 hours, something
Sure.
to play in a more casual fashion. We're not sitting here time clocking each other by any means, and we're just trying to get a game down. And so just to
Well,
roll dice
somebody
and
needs a
play
snack. You gotta get that
use.
snack.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. Ordained snack time in between rounds. So it's good. I totally agree. Playing to certain comfort levels is important because you don't want to wear yourself out thinking that there's some like mandatory format that you have to follow as you go through it.
Yeah, fair enough. This is gonna be a busy set of months coming up here, I think.
It is. There's
Keep
a
your
lot
eyes
coming
peeled
up.
for this space about what's going on. I know there's a bunch of big events coming up the next little bit.
Yeah, and I'm in Nova at the end of this month. I wish I could go. It looks like and they've moved into a bigger venue and everything. I'd love to be able to make it, but I won't be able to make it.
It's a wonderful convention. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Like lots of people go um to a lot of people, not just in that area. It is the mega event. That's their destination event. They have to go to that one event, and it is well justified. Like if it's on your mind to go, you will have a good time. In that same vein of like there are tons of games to be played. There's great vendors there. There's great people there. There's great competition there. Especially on the Warhammer 40,000 side. So that's
Yeah,
coming up.
there's some big team stuff coming up in September. Um, the Challengers Cup, I think, and then October is full of stuff. There's just a ton of stuff in October that it's kind of crazy how many like events come up in this tail end of the year as we head towards uh, Warhammer World Championships in November. The
People are out
Grand
there still
Narrative.
getting their golden tickets, still competing for their slot to come and compete for their country, in addition to solo glory for the World Championships of Warhammer.
Yeah, I've got, again, being introduced to some members of the community and everything as I was out last weekend. There was one, he told me about this event that's in Augusta that I wish I won't be able to attend, but it sounded pretty awesome, and that it's called Mechtoberfest. It's in October 11th through 12th. It's I think they've prizes include a ticket to Nova, so it would be in the next year going around.
Next year. Okay. I was about to
Yeah,
say
and
that's after
so
Nova, so
right, yeah.
maybe
So
that's
it kind of, well, I mean, so it plays into the next year, which is
yeah,
cool
yeah.
for people. It gives plenty of time to plan and get ready for it. And so, but that is, there's going to be 40k and Age of Sigmar and maybe a couple other events. So it seems cool. I mean, just a lot of stuff out there that people can lean into.
Like, yeah, we probably got one more recording week before some of this stuff starts to kick off. We'll keep y'all posted about where our whereabouts are. But we're all going to be back together. I'll be back together next week to talk about everything that get caught up on what they've been up to as well. Want to hear their firsthand accounts of things like the WGC, trip to mini wargaming. Red, what else is going on with you right now?
I mean, so I've got some other work stuff going on, so I won't be able to travel as much up here in the near future. But outside of that, it's really just like back in the hobby dungeon. My Imperial agents are, I'm not going to say they're at their perfect end state. There's always work to be improved upon. But and I'm really waiting for as was announced, on Warhammer community, the new kill team, Death Watch kill team coming out. Super excited for that because I'll likely blend that into my Imperial Agents army once it comes out. But I'm kind of right now between Age of Sigmar and my Soulblight Gravelords that I really want to kick into. Super excited for that. Or my 30k Night Lords army that with the new Horus Heresy stuff. I mean, they dropped the Legacy PDF. All of my stuff translates to a certain degree. I didn't lose much in regard. In fact, I lost almost nothing in translation from Horus Heresy 2.0 to 3.0, especially with the legacy PDF. And there's actually this really cool video that I recommend, if people are interested. Again, I was interested because of wargaming mechanics and I love the Horus Heresy system. But on Warhammer Plus, there's a video that's like how they approached the design of Horus Heresy 3.0, which I thought was a really cool interview. And he even says it in there. The game Horus Heresy is inherently a narrative game, and so I really love that kind of approach to the game mechanics, and I'm really excited to plus up. It's definitely going to be a improvement and advancement from my 2.0 army, which I tried to make pretty narrative as it already was, into this next step of like where I go with my Night Lord Trader army. Because I had, so there's Terror squads and there's Night Raptor squads, which are kind of like some of the signature units, and I really feel like they leaned into the signature aspect of it, and so I'm excited to kind of take that. There's a couple changes I might have to make with some of the models, but outside of that, I'm really excited to kind of step into that. So it's going to be fun.
Talk more heresy with you. Well, good luck with that, man. It's going to be the end of our show this week. Kind of a quick one as we ease into all this other stuff we got coming up. But don't worry, we'll be back next week, all of us, talking about all this stuff. Red, it's been a pleasure hanging out with you, and I cannot wait to do it again.
Thanks. See you, Paul.
We'll see you.
Take care.